That's right, we got two beers in front of us again, so you know it's double-fisted drinking time today. And from whom do we have said beers? Well, we have sort of from kind of in the same state, sort of rival breweries. I don't know if they're rivals, but they're close to each other. So first up, we've got a beer from one of my local favorites. I call them local because they aren't far from my house. And that is what? Troegs Independent Brewing out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, US of A. Yay, yay. And we've got one from Fegley's Brew Works out of where? Allentown, Pennsylvania, US of A. Yay, yay. And today we're going to have the Battle of the Elves. On stage left, we got one from Fegley's, which is their Rude Elf. And stage right, we got what? Mad Elf from Troegs. Both are 2018 editions. Both are winter servings. And they are both Belgian Strong Dark Ales. But they're a little bit different. So we'll talk about a beer that I have had much times. Drink it every year since as long as I can remember. But my memory's not awesome. Which is Mad Elf. Now, first, Mad Elf, like I said, this beer clocks in at 11% ABV and 15 IBUs. Winter serving, as I mentioned. This one is composed of, for hops, Hallertau and Saaz, and for malts are using chocolate, Munich, and Pilsner. And the adjuncts in this for the holiday seasons are cherry and honey. So, that's awesome. Next, now, Rude Elf, the Battle of the Elves. This used to be called, actually, Rudolph's Reserve. Now it's Rude Elf's Reserve. But anyway, just a little side note for you. For hops in this, they're using Hallertau. And for malts, they're using two-row, caramel, and pale. Now, all right, here's where we diverge. They got a ton of spices in here. So this is spiced wintered ale. So we've got, in this beer, we've got cinnamon, nutmeg, sweet gale, excuse me, coriander, and allspice. So that's a lot of freaking spices. That's almost like pumpkin beer level. So I am going to start out first with I think, Rude Elf's Reserve, because it's got all those spices in it. Then I'll drink a little bit of water, and we'll move to the Troegs after that, especially since I've had this more times too. We'll start with this beer. So, you saw the pour. Neither one of them had a head that lasted. Mad Elf's head never lasted on that beer ever that I can remember too much. But anyway, enough said. Let's talk about the Rude Elf's Reserve. It is a gorgeous sort of amber color. When I swirl it, we're getting tons of alcohol legs. There's no head left, so we're not going to get any glass lacing. But it looks like a beautiful, like, sort of orange amber fall sunset. Look at that brew. That's a pretty beer in the glass. But it's got to smell good, too. So let's dive in for that aroma. Very pumpkin beer-esque in aroma. Nutmeg forward after that cinnamon. A little bit of that minty sort of coriander thing going on. Bit of clovey allspice in there as well. Not really any hops to speak of. Lots of caramel aromas. Burnt brown sugar. Maybe some spicy yeast esters as well. It smells pretty nice. I don't smell any like phenolic alcohol on the top of it. Oh, well, by the way, I think I forgot to mention. This one's 10.5% ABV and 25 IBUs. See, I was so excited to drink. I've skipped that part. But I'm going to get to the drinking now. So let's dive in. Cheers! Tasty. Tastes a lot like pumpkin beer without those buttery pumpkin notes. It tastes like almost like a fall season little sort of like, I guess, I don't know, spiced beer. I think because that cinnamon and nutmeg are so forward on it, and I've drank so many pumpkin beers, maybe that's why it's given to me. The difference is, it's kind of like the Belgian-y sort of pumpkin beers I've had before. It's not bad at all. Don't get me wrong when you hear me saying pumpkin beer and those spices. It's just reminding me of that. I can see this kicking it by a fire and digging this as like Christmassy type stuff too. Like spiced cake. Maybe it's more a little bit like that. Quite bready. Lots of caramel. Alcohol's completely hidden. No warming in the chest. Maybe a little teeny tiny bit. Not much. The spices are big. They're overshadowing whatever like Belgian Strong Dark Ale characteristics were in there. Except for maybe the spicy yeast esters. Those are there. It's got a dry finish. Carbonation is very, very soft in this. As you drink into it, it is a little more zippy than the lack of a head on this beer would say. I wonder if I pour more in the glass. Let me see. Nah, really can't coax much head out of that. I mean, you see a little tiny bit of fizzy. That may stay there. Let me take another taste. Yeah, caramel, tons of spices. As you drink it, those spices kind of chill out and meld together, and or have more of that that spice cake tasty thing than maybe a pumpkin beer, but very, in my opinion, pumpkin beer-esque like kind of spice thing going on. Not a bad thing, just the fact that my beer memory is telling me. So let's get a little bit of water, a little H2O as it were, and we'll dive into the Mad Elf. All right, let's talk about the appearance of Mad Elf. It's a gorgeous sort of cherry red, like end of the night, sort of winter, like going into fall, going into winter sunset, deep dark red. Both really pretty beers in the glass. You know, you gotta like that. The cherries are turning this red. Now, sometimes Mad Elf when it's fresh is boozy, sometimes it's not. Just depends on the year. You know what? But I like to smell it too. So let's dive in for that aroma. Right up the front, dark cherry skin, spicy yeast esters, sweet honey, bit of caramel, a little bit of coffee in there as well. Very faint, that is. A little bit of chocolate, burnt brown sugar, and that's about it. Smells freaking delicious. Let's dive in. Cheers! We're at the not boozy year of Mad Elf. Right up at the front, bang, you're hit with the cherry. After that, that honey sweetness rolls in. The cherry taste in this isn't of artificial or candy cherry, nothing like that. It's that of dark cherry skins. The Mad Elf Grand Cru, which I had last year, was even bigger cherry skins. That's a pretty fun beer as well. Tons of yeast esters in this, as this beer celebrates to get even more. Quite dry finish on this. There's more zippy carbonation in the body of the beer than the lack of a head on it would concur or suggest. Zippy, just sweet cherry honey loveliness. Let me see if we can coax any head off of this. There we go. There we go. Second pour, we got some going on there. Let's see. Lifts the aroma of the cherry up even more when you get that out of it. But bready malt taste in there as well. And on the back of the palate, you get this cherry honey thing going on. Let me take one more taste. No warming in the chest at all this year. Actually, like every year that I've had this, I think they're getting better at brewing it because they make a lot more of it now. And it's less burny, less boozy. Of course, my palate is way more acclimated to big beers than when I first drank this. But man, super tasty. All right, let's talk about grading these. All right. For a spiced beer, for a winter warmer, Rude Elves Reserve is really good. Beer Advocate gives it 3.83 out of 5, and Untapped is giving it 4.08 out of 5. So we got like a high B plus to Untapped, let's say 4.08 is probably like a really high A minus into the A range. We'll call it A. And for Troegs Mad Elf, Beer Advocate is giving this 3.87 out of 5, and Untapped is giving this 4.09 out of 5. So basically the same kind of grades. I guess if you're a 4.09, maybe you're solidly into A. I don't know. But 3.87, pretty much the same. Super high B plus to A minus range. Let's see. Let me take one more taste here. I like this beer. It's not. I don't know if I would buy it again and drink it again like I do Mad Elf every year. I prefer the flavors in Mad Elf. That's my palate. Very well done herbed and spice beer. I'm going to go high A minus. I'm going to go 93 on this beer. And for Troegs Mad Elf, because the alcohol is so well hidden this year, I know this gets better when it cellars, even in this state. I'm going A. I'm going 95. So I got A minus and an A. I'm preferring the Mad Elf. For me, the Battle of the Elves of Pennsylvania has the Mad Elf one, but you know what? Maybe that's part of my bias too. I'm a Troegs fan, but I do prefer the flavor profile of this seriously. All bias and liking breweries aside and all that. Fegley's make some really cool stuff as well. But anyways, have you had Troegs Mad Elf or Rude Elves Reserve from Fegley's? Let me know what you know, because I like the quid pro quo and the back and forth. I also really like it when you do me a great big favor and think locally, drink locally, and support the craft beer movement. And it is exceedingly cool when you do me a big old favor, and you know what you got to do. You got to rate, comment, subscribe, and if you get around to it, consider helping me push those Google metrics up into the stratosphere. And you know what you gotta do? Smash that like button, because that, along with this two-fisted drinking night, is all I'm gonna need to put my big ass beer drinking holiday stuff. I guess this is holiday beer. Happy face on. So the next DJs BrewTube, I got nothing but a bunch of elf drinking love for you, and you know what's coming for you by now. Hell yes, that's right, a big ass peace.